Oh, sorry.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to SOFcast. We're still here at SOF Week down here in the Convention Center downtown Tampa. I'm with my co-host.
And Master Gunner Sergeant Chance Stanley.
And we have another guest on tap, a very special and interesting guest, Leslie Babich from SoftWerx. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Leslie, would you mind do a little introduction of tell us your background?
Sure. So Leslie Babich, prior to becoming the director of SoftWerx in October of 2020, I was 26 years active duty Air Force, primarily flying MC-130s for Air Force Special Operations Command. So flew both the Talon 1 and the Talon 2. Rounded out my career here at SOCOM in the J8 as one of the assessment directors. And I retired in 2018. Went over to industry for a couple of years at Ybor Defense and Aerospace, just over in St. Pete, and then got hired for this position in October of 2020.
That's awesome, and thank you for that, because your organization has done tremendous work for SOCOM, and I kind of want to highlight that a little bit. If you would, there are probably two things I want to look at. You know, what is SoftWerx, and then what is the relationship with SoftWerx and SOCOM?
Okay.
Great
So
question.
SoftWerx itself is a 501c3 nonprofit, and our relationship with SOCOM is we're a partnership intermediary. And so we do a lot of engagement and technology discovery and help accelerate the development of technology for SOCOM. And we really have three lines of effort. Again, that discovery piece. So when an operator or a unit brings a problem they're trying to solve to us, really sit down with them and figure out where they're at in the process. Is it still that problem statement development, maybe market research, or are they ready to go find solutions? And so we can, again, facilitate engagement between industry, academia, and labs, those solutions providers. And it's really face-to-face engagement with the operator, with the end user, so that they can really understand those pain points and then share where the technology is at. Is it at technology readiness level 4 and still in development, or is it a commercial off-the-shelf capability, so that SOCOM can figure out what's in the art of the possible for a potential solution. And then we can facilitate the assessment of that technology from those solutions providers. And SOCOM will then choose a company or companies to work with. And we do commercial agreements versus government contracts, which is really, really exciting. And again, it really accelerates that development of the capability and gets the prototype into the hands of the warfighter.
Yeah, I think what I've learned about SoftWerx in the past, one of the more interesting things is you guys can connect with a small business or an individual who's working out of their garage.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, we have a really low barrier of entry. So first, we're off base. So it's really easy to get to. Sometimes just getting on base and getting access to a classified or secure facility is a deterrent enough for somebody that's never worked with DoD before. We do all unclassified projects. So that does not prohibit companies that don't have clearances from participating. Most of the technologies themselves are not classified. It's the application or the end user that classifies that. So if you classify something up front, you eliminate like 50% of the potential solutions providers that are out there. A lot of small companies have great technology. They've just never even thought about working with Department of Defense or SOCOM. And so this really creates a huge influx of potential solutions providers for SOCOM. And then again, we do those commercial agreements. So not all companies are structured for certified cost and pricing data, or again, the clearances. So this is their opportunity to kind of dip their toe in the water and see if they want to work with SOCOM.
It bridges all that together.
So I just have a question for you. Obviously, with SOFWERX, there's a conglomeration of people that you bring together from instructional design, but also computer science, engineers, problem solvers from that hardware, software, you name it. But as a defense personnel, somebody within the armed forces, how do I bring my experience to the table? How can I get involved if I have ideas for creative solutions and I want to be involved in that design aspect, or share some of those developments and creative solutions that maybe I've helped to champion at that tactical level?
Right. So for us, it's really important to have that end user input and that iteration while the technology is being developed. So we love to have subject matter experts and people that actually are experiencing those pain points in the field to come and engage with the potential solutions providers, because that creates a great picture for those industry participants and how they would apply their technology to solve the problem. So that face-to-face engagement is really important. So for anybody in SOCOM, whether it be from a component, a theater special operations command, headquarters, somebody at AT&L, we can support all of those participants. And so really it's about, we get funding to operate all year round, and that's really our baseline funding. But to develop technology, there is additional funding that needs to be brought because when we advertise opportunities to business, it's got to be funded. We want there to be a there for business and a solution for the warfighter. So it's got to be a win-win situation. But for operators and users, having that subject matter expertise, even if you're not the primary stakeholder for the event, to come and participate in the collaboration events and share that experience and that different perspective that you have is really important to the industry participants to understand fully what SOCOM is looking for.
I've been amazed on a couple of different occasions that are just popping in my head when these subject matter experts at the tactical level in the teams, they know these certain pieces of equipment inside and out. They use them all the time. They really understand the capabilities as the manufacturer designed them. But through their expertise and when they're put in a tactical situation somewhere, a lot of times they're able to determine new ways to employ those devices, whatever they are, communications platforms, that even the manufacturer may not be aware that it actually does have a capability. So then when they get back, they're sharing that, and it's just amazing to watch. Some a manufacturer, someone in industry that they created that piece of equipment, super intelligent, talented people, and they're like, oh no, it doesn't do that. That's not one of its functions. And having a young sergeant or something, E5, saying, yes, it does, and let me show you. So I wanted to put that plug out there on that tactical level, operational level SME, that's there at the the forward line of troops, or where the rubber meets the road. They're deployed downrange. They have a level of expertise and experience, that end user, if you will, that is, again, to your point, critical to that whole design process.
Yeah, and in an ideal world, it would be great for us to be able to engage with everybody at the end of a deployment and really talk about the lessons learned and the after action reports in terms of how they were able to leverage their kit, their equipment, and maybe how we could make modifications to create new prototypes to apply those technologies in different ways. Or how we can help them for the future, right? For that next rotation.
What are some of the, if you can highlight, some of the more interesting things you're working on now?
I would say a lot of the capabilities that are being developed right now through SoftWerx. So we support events, collaboration events. So problems that operators are having, they bring it to us to help them find solutions. And then we also support the SOCOM Small Business Innovation Research Program. So SOCOM has a legislative authority and a pilot program approved by Congress to be able to execute 10% of their SBIR funds through our mechanism. So all of the other programs in the government, you have to have a government contract. But Ms. Sanders, the director of S&T, got this legislative authority about 3 years ago. So that allows us to execute SBIR phase 1s and phase 2s with the commercial agreements. And again, it was her team trying to figure out a way to accelerate capability delivery to the warfighter for the prototype. So we're able to award SBIRs in 3 to 4 weeks versus 3 to 4 months. We get twice as many submissions from industry because we're focused on that small business ecosystem. They got 82 proposals for the last SBIR topic that they put out. Wow. Average is about 20 before that. So a lot of the capabilities that we're seeing now that are going to transition to the warfighter are coming through the SBIR program as well as our collaboration events. So sensors, right, that you would put on drones for, chemical detection, open sensor hardware. So just updates to hardware or software for platforms that would normally take like 6 to 12 months to get a software update. Right. Now there's a capability to get those updates into the system and that platform quicker.
That brings readiness to a whole new
absolutely.
level. So if I'm in the team room, right? Team room, you remember those days. How do E6, E7 team room person get an idea up to you or
Okay.
through that, how do they do that?
Our webpage. So if you go to SOFWERX.org, there's a couple of different pathways. So number one, we have a manufacturing area right up at software. So it's called the Foundry. So we've got machining capability, 3D print capability, welding, plasma cutter, laser cutter. So if there is a prototype that you would like to develop or some kit that you would like to modify or repair, there's a Foundry tab that you would just submit a Foundry request. So it's a drop down, submit a Foundry request, give us some information, and that'll drive a kickoff meeting. We'll reach out to you. To be able to participate in the events, you just click on the events tab. There's a web page for each event that we have. And you just kind of scroll through and take a look at if it's applying to you. You scroll to the bottom and request to attend. If you want to have an event of your own, on the homepage, there's a request an event button. And then also we have a Tech Tuesday forum, which is hearing pitches from industry, and it's a virtual format. If you wanted us to do some market research and have companies pitch to you, and it's, again, there's no commitment there, just hear like an apples to apples pitch from multiple different companies, and we can help do the market research. Tech Tuesday drop down is available too. And also, if you just want to dial in and listen to those pitches, there's a government only RSVP button to be able to listen to that. So really go to the webpage, email me, Leslie Babich at SOFWERX.org, or give us a call and we'll start something. We'll just start that conversation.
That's actually sounds pretty easy.
We try to be the easy button, both for operators internal to SOCOM and the Warfighter, as well as industry. Another really cool thing is that if SOCOM is working with another service or agency and they have a problem they're trying to solve together, we can do joint projects as long as it's a benefit to SOF. And there's a SOCOM stakeholder that says, yeah, I would like to do this with another. And so it can be co-funded, which really can buy down risk for each other. And obviously maximizes the use of taxpayer dollars too.
That's incredible. Chance, you want to ask the last question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say more of a to capture the importance of the relationship, with industry and commercial, and you're rapidly fielding solutions, right? Whether they're technology based or some other platform. Our adversaries in the threat landscape is evolving pretty much faster than it ever has in known history. So, coming up with a 2 to 3, 5 year plan to try to get something over the finish line and get an actual object or a solution in a warfighter's hand, it's not going to cut it, right? So that's where industry and companies like SoftWerx and our partnerships come to play, because we're able to shorten that timeline down and effectively field solutions in a much more rapid way.
Right, absolutely. And, I would say SOCOM is a great organization to work with. I mean, the culture is very forward leaning, and they're willing to try new solutions and ways at getting new solutions. And it's a very transparent relationship between us and our partners in AT&L and throughout the command. So, and then just our relationship with industry is very trust-based as well. We're a nonprofit, so we don't want to own any IP of any of the companies that we work with. We don't invest in them. We don't take a cut if they get a contract. So it's very trust-based, and so they're willing to share their tech so that we can get in front of the SOCOM warfighter. And again, to get inside that traditional cycle of about 2 years or 3 to 4 years to get a solution, we can at least develop that prototype so that you can take it out, test it, evaluate it, and make that educated decision if this is something you want to include in your program of record, or just to adopt, short term in a smaller scale for the operator.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Is there anything you'd like to tell our audience as we wrap it up here?
Yeah, Soft Week is great. It's really given us an opportunity to reach out to new industries that we have not engaged with before, especially those small non-traditionals and the big DoD primes, because they don't realize they can participate with us too sometimes. And then also to be able to reach out to the operator community and let them know how we can support them in terms of prototype development, et cetera.
That's awesome. On behalf of USOCOM, Chance, myself, General Fenton, CSM Shorter, thank you so much for being on SOFcast, and please enjoy yourself the rest of the week.
Yeah, thanks for
really
inviting me.
Appreciate you coming
Appreciate
out.
it.
Thank you so much.
All right. We're good.
Go. All right.
I
Thank
can't
you.
hear you. What do you say? Okay. So, folks, that wraps up our live broadcast for this particular day, Wednesday. Really appreciate you tuning in. Chance, you want to give a final word?
No, I just want to say thanks to our audience again for tuning in, listening, or watching. And I want to make that plug again. We just dropped season 5, episode 2,
That's
Dr.
right.
Brittany Loney. So go to SOFcast, SOCOM.mil, or check us out on any of the popular podcast platforms and give that a listen. And if you like that content or the season 5, episode 1 with Alejandro Villanueva, subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exciting guests we have coming down the pipe. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right.
Awesome.
We're out.